2026 is only 6 days old, and already it feels insane. It's not one isolated story that makes me feel like that. It's a pattern. The world feels like it's out of control, and I'm sure you agree with me. Today, I want to talk through three separate events, all from the past few days, that show how badly our institutions are failing to deal with reality, how often ideology is replacing judgment. As I'm sure most of you yesterday saw, that J.D. Vance's home in Ohio was attacked. And the young man, he was only, I believe, 19 years old. He smashed windows, damaged property, and was taken into custody by law enforcement. Photos have circulated online showing this man presenting as a woman. During the arrest, he reportedly asked to be referred to by a female name. However, mainstream outlets have not verified his gender identity, and authorities have emphasized serious mental health issues, not political ideology, is what's happening with this young man. That distinction matters because this case highlights something we keep refusing to talk about honestly. Children and adolescents who present with gender distress frequently also present with multiple health diagnoses. Anxiety, depression, trauma, and neurodevelopmental conditions are commonly documented. Instead of slowing down and addressing those underlying issues through long-term therapy, our system has become far too quick to affirm and medicalize. I've been talking about this in other videos, and I'm going to keep talking about it. And we'll continue talking about why are they medicalizing so quickly and so easily. I want to be very clear about my position now and going forward. I am firmly against any medical intervention for children under 18 related to gender confusion. No puberty blockers, no cross hormones, no surgeries, period. When long-term data is weak and the risks are irreversible, medicine has a duty to slow down, not rush forward. This case doesn't prove anything about identity, but it does show what happens when ideology replaces serious mental health care and the headlines move too quickly. That same instinct to distort reality instead of confronting it shows up again in how people talk about foreign policy. And here we are again with Tucker Carlson. This time, Tucker's response to the U.S. operation involving Venezuela wasn't analysis, it's reframing. Let's take a look at how he did that, what he had to say.
In Venezuela, gay marriage is banned, abortion is banned, sex changes for transgenderism are banned. It's one of the very few countries in the entire hemisphere with those policies. It is on social policy, not defending the regime, just saying, one of the most conservative countries in North or South or Central America. Only El Salvador really comes close, which is much smaller, of course. And by the way, the U.S.-backed opposition leader who would take Maduro's place if he were taken out is, of course, pretty eager to get gay marriage in Venezuela. So to those of you who thought this whole project was globo homo, not crazy, actually.
So there you have it. Tucker again, going off topic, but purposely. Tucker does this. This is what Tucker does all the time. By injecting gay marriage into the conversation, Tucker wasn't explaining U.S. foreign policy. He wasn't explaining why we went in and took Maduro. He wasn't explaining any benefits to it. He wasn't talking about what Maduro has done to Venezuela since Chavez died, and all the horrific things we've heard, and all the people murdered, and all those terrible things. But he's talking about gay marriage. It's like, what the? Anyway, by injecting gay marriage, he this is a pattern with Tucker. Change the motive, change the frame, and make serious state action sound absurd or corrupt by default. He does. He makes it like, we went in to get Maduro corrupt. He doesn't argue whether the action was justified, legal, or strategically sound. He turns it into a culture war joke because he fundamentally despises how the U.S. operates overseas. That does not inform viewers. It undermines legitimacy, and it muddies the waters intentionally. I don't know how many of you saw yesterday, but there was a video circulating on X yesterday, and it got fairly widely reported, not just on X. It's the newspapers picked it up and a lot of other places. Before I show any video, I want to be clear about what this is and what this isn't. This is not about ideology. This is about women's safety and boundaries and what happens when institutions refuse to enforce them and to protect women. A disturbing video has resurfaced from a Planet Fitness in California, originally recorded in May of 2024. According to the woman who filmed it, she saw a man exiting the woman's shower, wrapped in a towel, when she observed him enter a bathroom stall where she said she could see the shadow of what appeared to be the man masturbating for an extended period of time. She reported the situation to the gym staff. Other women can be seen entering the bathroom and hallway area, appearing to witness or respond to her claims. There are no verified public records showing that the police were called or charges were filed in this specific incident. Unfortunately, Planet Fitness policy allows individuals to declare whatever they are and then to use the accompanying space that coordinates with what they're declaring. So this man went to the desk and said, I'm a trans woman, and wants to use the women's locker room. That's their policy, and they let him use the women's locker room.
Bro, do you go to the Taco Bell bathroom and jack off, bro? What the fuck is wrong with you, bro?
Underage people walking in.
Right, minors, like.
You guys, I was in the stall.
It does not fucking matter, bro.
You're not harassing me when I'm in the stall.
You were in the women's bathroom.
I'm allowed to be in here. You cannot.
Doesn't matter if you're allowed to be in here. You're not allowed to fucking jerk off in here, bro. That is so fucking weird. Bro, we have video fucking proof.
Are you allowed to video people in the stall? No.
Unfortunately, this is not an isolated incident, not at all. In November, which many of you may remember, it was in the headlines in Los Angeles, another widely reported confrontation occurred involving singer Tish Hyman at a gym locker room. In that case, Hyman confronted a person she identified as a transgender woman inside the women's locker room. She said she felt scared, violated, and verbally taunted, and this was not the first time she encountered men at women's spaces. Video from that incident shows her demanding the individual leave and challenging gym staff. No crime was charged, but both people were removed from the gym, and Hyman says her membership was revoked. Okay. I'm going to share with you this video from the LA incident, and you can see what they're talking about here. This is another gal who helped in the reporting of it and has helped since to be public about challenging these laws and these permissions. When we go here, we're going to see, here we go. That's the guy that was in the women's bathroom claiming to be a trans woman. Here he is in the women's bathroom. You can see he's clearly a man. He just has a halter top or whatever you want to call it on. This is not a woman. This is a man. He called me a bitch and told me to get the hell out of the bathroom. That's from what Trish said. I was naked, scared, and being yelled at, she said. This should never happen to a woman in a woman's locker room. It's absolutely outrageous. Anyway, here he is walking out of the locker room. She got him on camera. And live and let die. Apparently, this man had been doing something like this similarly in another gym recently, but clearly he's a man. Under California law, gyms are required to allow access to locker rooms based on gender identity. California may be the only state that has that law that based on gender identity versus gender that you actually are, even when other women object. This is really putting women in women's spaces at risk. These two incidences are different in severity, but they reveal the same failure. When institutions remove boundaries, they don't eliminate risk. They shift the risk onto the women and then punish the women for speaking up. This is not hysteria. This is a pattern. Women should not be forced to share private spaces with men, period. Boundaries exist for a reason. Ignoring them puts people at risk. I mean, this is just an outrageous thing. We continually are hearing more and more stories about this. We're seeing the men and women's sports, which I'll be doing another video on that very soon. It's just crazy. These stories are not connected by politics today. They're connected by denial of mental health realities in the trans space for young kids, denial of institutional responsibility in the Tucker stuff, and denial of basic boundaries in the women's and trans women being in the women's spaces. We can be compassionate without being reckless. We can, allow, trans women into many spaces, but there has to be some limits. We have got to protect cis women. We can do this without being reckless, but only if we stop pretending that saying no is cruelty. It's not cruelty, and that's the whole point. And that's what these activists on the trans women's side count on. They count on you feeling guilty and by saying no, that you're being cruel to them. And that is exactly the psychology that they're counting on to be able to access these spaces. And this is what we have to do. We have to do a clear no. We have to let our leaders know at all levels of government, because it affects, as you can see, these locker room laws, our local laws. They could be city, they could be county, they could be state, and they can be federal. But all the way along, there's different politicians that are involved. And this is a huge fight that's going to continue into this year, including for the kids, because with Trump and RFK's demand about pulling funding for kids transitioning, you're going to see this in the newspaper quite a lot this year. Anyway, I wanted to talk to you about these, different things. The world is definitely feeling crazy in just the first 6 days. And now Trump talking about taking Greenland, which would just throw the whole world into just insanity. Throw out every law, every contract, every agreement between countries. NATO would disappear. He's playing with fire, and it's absolute nonsense. And this is not a right or left issue. This is just a right or wrong issue. Please like and subscribe to this video. It is very important so I can grow this channel. And every time you subscribe, that increases the chance of YouTube showing my videos to new people. And liking also does the same thing. Please, 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 I appreciate it. And I thank you, everybody that has subscribed lately as we grow this channel. And again, check me out on X at Thinking Clearly. As you can see on the bottom left corner there, the second L in clearly is a 1. And that's how you'll find me on X. Again, thank you and have a good evening.